Good evening, everyone. Welcome. It's time for Monday Night Live. It's been 2 weeks since our last one. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We're going to have a giveaway. We're going to get crafty. We're going to talk about lots of fun crafty things. So you know what? Actually, let me show you the giveaway first. So with a lot of our Monday Night Lives, with all of them right now, we are doing a giveaway. Tonight is no different, and the giveaway corresponds with the demo deal. So Brianna's in the background here. She's going to pop up that link to our Monday Night Live demo deal. It's 25% off paints, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. 25% off Art by Marlene and 25% off Sizzix Studio stamp and stencil sets. So our giveaway tonight is this. This is the Smooth All Around Paper Pad by Art by Marlene. And I have to say, this paper is amazing. Super smooth, great for stamping, great for stenciling, great for anything. And it's a heavy media paper. So paint, sprays, stamps, inks, all the things can be used with this paper, and it is lovely, I have to say. So one of you is going to win this at the end of the live tonight. We've got our giveaway tool. Now that I'm saying that out loud, let me just check. Yes, the giveaway tool is running. So right now the giveaway tool is running in the background, and it is collecting your names from your comments. So go ahead and comment, and at the end, we're going to run that random number generator, the random giveaway tool, and it is going to choose one of you to win this prize. So, but you do have to comment, because if you don't comment, it's not going to know you're here and your name won't get picked. So let's set that aside. We will do the giveaway at the end of our Monday Night Live. Okay, so let's just get started. I'm going to switch to my overhead camera. So let's do that. There we go. Okay, just hang on. This worked perfectly earlier. Okay, here we go. There we go. Overhead camera. Let me get rid of my mouse. We don't need that for a while. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to be talking about Sizzix Studio. Now, what I mean by that, I'm going to bring them in here. So these are the Sizzix Studio stamp and stencil sets designed by Kat Kerr. So I had the opportunity to do a class not that long ago. Just wait, let me roll down here. Okay, here we go. So I had an opportunity to do a class with Sizzix Studio, and I absolutely fell in love with these. They are amazing. So there are 4 by Kat Kerr. There's 4 of them. This one's probably my favorite, and it is called, I'm trying to remember, Possibilitarian. So each one has a stamp set. You can see that stamp set here, and 3 stencils. There you go. And they are amazing. So each one of these is a stamp set and a stencil. So Possibilitarian is that one. And I'm going to show you this. This is actually what I made in that class, was the front of this journal. So the front of it, you can see the reflection. That is actually wet media Duralar. Wet media Duralar. So I actually stamped on the Duralar with paint, and it's specially coated to accept wet media such as paint. So there you go. Now you can see that there's that face on that Possibilitarian on there. Now I've had people ask me, well, how did you attach the acetate? Double-sided tape, to be honest with you. If I hold this up at a certain angle, you might be able to see. I have tape all the way around the outside, but it's not easy to see. So I'm actually really happy with how the front of that turned out. I'm going to bring this in. This is actually that same face stamp here. And that is stamped on the wet media Duralar. I'm going to layer this over top so you can see that. This is that wet media Duralar, and I stamped on it using black paint. But look how cool that is. I might be using this tonight. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just going to set that aside for right now. And then let me see. This set is called The Visitor. The Visitor. Again, you get a gorgeous stamp set, and 3 stencils. And then I'll show you what I created using that one. This is what I created using that set there. Isn't that gorgeous? I love looking at this one. It just makes me happy. It just brings me joy. Love, love, love. Okay, so that's The Visitor. And then this one's actually, I hadn't bought this one originally, so I bought this one. This one is actually called and I'm probably not doing a good job with this word. Ikige, I don't know. And so I got crafty with that one today. I wanted to have another sample for you. So that is what I created today using this set and paints. And let me just say, oh, I love this stamp. I love this. So if you want to know the definition for Ikige, your reason for being. I love that. I might recreate that one tonight. I'm not sure. I haven't decided. And this one, which I haven't created with, I think I might use this one tonight, Murakai. And this one is actually called Create. Just Create. But the word Murakai, I actually have a necklace with that name on it. And what it means is to do something with your soul, creativity, or love, and to put something of yourself in your work. Oh my God, that just like touches me. It just reaches down and touches my soul. I love this one. I definitely left this one to the last because this is the one I think I'm going to create with tonight. Okay. So one other thing I do want to talk about, which is also a part of Sizzix Studio, well, not the one I have, but they have a Sizzix Studio one. And I'm going to be using this tonight. Uh-oh, why am I out of focus? Focus. There we go. Okay, so this is the Sizzix Stamp and Stencil tool. So this is the original one. Quite a large surface. If you're wondering what this is a sticky grid sheet. You can see here the sticky grid sheet. This is what I use to put in here. So my paper goes on there. Absolutely wonderful. So I use the sticky grid sheet in here to stick my paper to. And then this is your stamp press. Okay, so this is what you would use to stamp with. And I'll be using this so you'll see me use it. But not only that, this pops off. This part pops off. And there is also a spin and stamp, this here. So see how this rotates? You can create things in wreaths, which I love. Now, I'm not going to do this tonight live because it does take a little bit of time, and I don't want to spend my evening doing that. But I used this tool to create this mandala, and this is a Tracy Scott stamp set, and don't ask me which one because I don't remember off the top of my head, but I use this stamp and spin tool to create this. I'm going to color this and I can't wait, but oh my word, look at that. Hello, Joanne Bradley from Cochrane. Yeah, so the stamp and spin tool, great for creating mandalas such as this, or wreaths, that sort of thing, but absolutely amazing. So of course I had to get this. And the reason why I got it is when Tracy Scott was in Canada, she bought this tool and has been using it to create mandalas. So I was like, well, If it's good enough for Tracy, it's good enough for me. Okay, but wait, there's more to this tool. Okay, so this is what you use for the stencils. So it hooks up. I'm hoping you can see this. Might have to move my camera. So you can see you can move it here. You can move it different ways, and then your stencil will hook onto here and keep it. And now I will be using this, so you will see me using it. But wait, there's more. This is the registration extender. Now, what does that mean? So you see this along here. If I turn this up, you can see that's how wide it is. But they have created this extender. So you can pop that on there. Helps if you do it the right way. Pop that on there. And now look at all of the space you've got. Why is that important? Well, for people who want to stamp in an art journal or stamp in their Bible, this is great for people who do Bible journaling. Now what you can do, I'm going to put my stamping lid back on there. Let me bring my journal back in. I can now put my journal in there and be able to stamp on it. So if I turn that up, you can see my journal is in there. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Now, this isn't my normal art journal. I don't normally use this. I just got it for a class that I did. But the reason why it's good for this is because I can get it all in camera. So that's why I'm using this size. So yeah, perfect for that. And also, if I take this lid off, my stencil will also fit on there to hold my stencils. And then I can put my journal in there and it will hold my stencil in place. So there you go. Perfect for stamping in your stencil, in your Bible, any book where you've got some thickness. Like before, if I wanted to stamp in my art journal, I couldn't use my MISTI. I couldn't use those stamp tools. I had to use like a block. But now this gives me the opportunity to do that. Okay, so let's get started. I'm just going to move this off to the side because I'm not going to do any stamping or stenciling just yet. Let's open up to a new page here. There we go. And let me bring in this. This is the one I have not used before. Not used this one. So again, this one is the Create set, and we have all 4 of these in stock now, and you can save 25% off on these. Okay, so again, I have not created with this particular set, but let's take a look at it. That is our stamp set. So you can see we've got the word, we've got the definition. We also have the word create. We've got some greenery. We've got some swirlies. We've got some little spotty bits. We've got this down here is all kinds of art. I don't know if that will focus, but expressionism, abstract, graffiti, modern photography, drawing, avant-garde, baroque. So it has all of those on there. And then it has this, which is like a color wheel, which is very cool. So I'll be using that in a minute. Let me put that aside. Let's take a look at what we've got for stencils. We've got this one, which is some nice kind of star sparkles type thing. This one, which kind of looks like confetti. And then we have this one, which is like paint splashes, paint splotches, that sort of thing. Now, I love these sets because you could take a stencil from another set and a stamp from another set and use them together. So they're really great that way. But I'm going to be focusing on just using this one. Okay, let's set those aside. Let me create my background. And any of the techniques that I'm going to be using in my art journal, you can use on a scrapbook page. You can use them on cards, whatever you want. Does not have to be an art journal. Okay, so I'm going to be using some paint, and I've got a selection of paper artsy paint. I've got some Dilutions. I've also got some Dina paint, and all of these are also 25% off. All paints 25% off. Now, out of camera range, you can't see it, but just out of range, I'm using a paint palette, and which saves me a whole lot of cleanup. This is palette paper by Sizzix Studio, and I'm loving it. So I use it to put my paint on, my inks on if I'm doing watercoloring, but it's just out of sight. You can't really see it because there you go. Okay, let me pick some paint colors. I don't know why I picked these three. I'm looking at them like those don't look good at all. So let me grab cerise, and I'm also going to use let's use cerise and lemon drop, and then let's use cerulean. Let me take a look here. Yeah, I'm liking those. Cerulean, and maybe we'll bring in some Bermuda. Maybe. Okay, let's just see how this goes with these four colors. Okay, so I'm going to put my paint on my paint palette. Hi, everyone. Hello. Okay, let's put some cerulean. I am going to be using a brayer as well, but you could certainly apply your paint with a paintbrush as well. But what I'm doing tonight, I am using my brayer. Okay, so I have all my paints on my paint palette. You can see it there. Okay, I'm going to take a small brayer. This is a small journal, small brayer. And I'm just going to start just doing my background. I'm going to start with the cerise. And I am just going to apply this to my background. Really easy. Not looking for full coverage of this color because I do want to add other colors. Don't forget, if you've got any questions, put them in the comments. Okay, I'm going to use that same brayer, and I'm going to pick up, what color is this? What am I using? Lemon drop. That's a nice bright yellow. Now, these colors are great because it's translucent. So I can apply this secondary color, and I'm still going to be able to see that cerise underneath. But where these colors overlap, I'm going to start getting like a nice orange color. There we go. Do you recommend the heavy? Do you recommend the heavy paint for this? You know what? I don't really look at paints in that sort of way. I use a mixture of the. I mean, I do have Dina's paints here, which are the heavy acrylic paints. I'm just not using them, but you could use them for sure. Okay, I'm liking how this is coming. I think I might stop there with that color for right now. Now down the center, it's really hard to get in there with your brayer. So I'm actually just going to take a heavy body. Yeah, you know what, Suzanne, you use whatever paint that you like. I don't really look for things like that unless I'm putting paint through a stencil. Sometimes I'll do heavy body. So I'm just taking a paintbrush and I'm picking up some of the paint left on my palette. And I'm just going to come in and just add that into that crease there, just so there we go. I don't have a white line in there. Okay. I'm going to dry this because now I'm going to add some blues and I don't want them mixing. I'm just going to give this a quick heat set. Okay, so you can see I'm not covering everything up. It's not solid. I'm going to be doing some stamping, some stenciling. So I do want to leave some white space in there. So I'm liking how this is looking right now. Now I'm going to take that same brayer And I'm actually going to turn this around this way. And now I'm going to brayer on some blue. So I'm going to come in with Bermuda. It looks like that's the one I grabbed. And I'm just going to add in some of that down here. Not a lot. I'm not trying to overpower the other colors. I am going to try and overlap them just a little bit, not a lot. This paint is opaque. So that was also something I need to keep in mind. I don't want to cover up too much of my pink and yellow with this opaque paint. Now I'm going to pick up some cerulean, which is also an opaque. So I'm going to come in and add just a smidgen of that down at the bottom. So if you're just joining, you're wondering what paints I'm using 3 Paper Artsy paints and a Diane paint. Okay, there. I'm loving that. I'm gonna stop. Sometimes I don't know when to stop, but here I am making the decision to stop there because I'm liking what I'm seeing. Just going to wipe my brayer off really quickly, and then I'll show you the paints that I'm using. So if you're wondering, I have 3 Paper Artsy paints. Cerise. Whoop. We've got the Cerise and Lemon Drop is what I used up top on this top portion. So Cerise is Paper Artsy, Lemon Drop is Dilutions. And then at the bottom, I use 2 colors from Paper Artsy. I use Cerulean and Bermuda down here. Now, you might have seen that I did bring some of the yellow down to the bottom, and that was deliberate because I like, oh, Gail, yes, I can see that now. I decided to bring the yellow down just to kind of make it look like they're incorporated. The Dilutions paints are so nice, aren't they? They're gorgeous. Okay, so there we go. Now I just noticed down here that I didn't fill in down here, so I'm just going to grab a paintbrush really quick. And I'm just going to grab some of those blues because I just want to fill that in just a smidge, just so I don't have that white line. Nope, Lemon Drop is not sparkle. Nope. It is just a regular Dilutions paint, not a shimmer paint. I actually I didn't even get any of the shimmer paints out. No, these are all just regular acrylic paints. Okay, so there we go. There's my background. I am going to hit it with a bit of heat, and I'm going to bring in my stamp and stencil tool. We're going to do some stenciling. Oh, Dana, I just saw your comment. Yes, I wish there was a class. So this is what Dana said. I wish there was a class that taught when to stop as a technique. Oh, Dana, the struggle is real. I hear you, sister. Oh my gosh. Okay. You know, sometimes when I get to a point before I go on, sometimes I'll just take this and I will put it away. I'll walk away from it for like a day. Because sometimes when you're staring at it for so long, you kind of don't know what you're looking at anymore. So that is my general rule is if I get to a certain point, I don't know if I'm done, is I walk away. I'll just put it off to the side, do something else, walk away. That's what I do. Okay, so I'm bringing in my stamp and stencil tool. I've got on my registration adapter, so I've got more depth, and I've got my journal in here. Now I am going to do some stenciling. Let me bring those gold stencils back in. Now, those are amazing. What do I want to do with those? Those are cool. Okay, so you'll notice on the stencils, they've got 2 holes on each side, on the long side and on the short side, all 4 edges. So, helps if you put this on the right way. There we go. So that means, let me move this back. I can hook up my stencil this way. And I can still move my journal. I want to, let's see, where do I want to put that little splotch? Maybe I want it over here and up there. I can move it all around. Or if I want to change the orientation, I can turn the stencil, hook that in, and then I can move my art journal to where I want it, blah, 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 all the way around there, and it's good. Okay. Now, one thing I do want to mention, if you're thinking this is a great tool, I would love this tool, but I have other stencils that don't have holes in them. There is a stencil adapter. So they are like little stickers. You buy a pack of them and you can actually put them on your stencil and it has the 2 holes in it. And then that's permanent. So there are those as well. I haven't done that. But that is available. And I don't know if Brianna says, what do you want me to have a link for? I'm like, no, I'm good. Yeah, the stencil adapter from Sizzix Studio. Okay, let's see. Do I want to use this? I think I do, but I think I only want to use the small. I think I want to use the small. Do I? Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's just pop that on there. So there we go. My stencil's on there. I want to use these. I'm going to turn my journal. Let's see. Thinking the thoughts. Where do I want to do this? You know, now that I've got this on here, now I'm second guessing myself. Hang on. Somebody had mentioned that this looks like a sunset, and now I can't unsee it. So I'm actually going to go into one of the other sets, because this is what it is. This is what it is when you're... Oh, yes. But I did just order them, so they should be here later this week. Okay, so this is from the Ikigai. I know I'm just totally butchering that word, but this is from this set. And look at how gorgeous that is. They're like little suns. I am totally going to use this on my background. Okay, I'm going to turn my journal around. This is going to go on the background. Now, I need, let's bring in, that is not a great one because that is transparent. Let's use Gnarly. That's a nice bright color. This is where you get stuck. You know, you would not be surprised at how often all I do is backgrounds. Sometimes I will just do background after background after background and never finish that art journal page. Sometimes I just get the satisfaction of just doing the background. Every once in a while, I'll flip through an art journal and go, oh, I love that background. And now I have a stamp or a stencil or something I want to do with it. Okay, so for those of you who have never put paint to a stencil, listen up, I've got tips and techniques. So I like using a blending tool and a blending foam. I prefer the dome foams, but the other foams work as well. These foams, the originals, those ones. I prefer the dome foams. Okay, so I'm actually using a blending tool, not one of the smaller tools. And when you go to pick up your paint on here, you're going to pick up a little bit of paint, okay? And then what you're going to do, let me bring this in so you can see what I'm doing. After I put the paint on, then I want to tap, 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 over and over and over. And then I want to make sure I've got a nice thin coat on there. I always tell people, you can add more paint, but if you're going to go in there with a big blob of paint, it's just going to ooze under your stencil and you're going to have a big mess and you can't remove that paint. It's just going to be a big mess. So it's easier to do multiple layers of paint than it is to go in with a thick layer of paint. Less is more. So I go in with thin coats of paint And I can already tell I'm absolutely going to love this. I can tell already. Sometimes I don't get those feels until I'm almost done a page, but you know what? I am loving how this is going. So I've got yellow on my background. This is also yellow. So this is not going to be bold. It's not going to stand out. Oh, I didn't realize these get smaller. Well, son of a nutcracker. Oh, I like that. It's just so subtle in the background. Okay, I'm going to dry this before I turn this around. Now I'm thinking, do I want, yeah. So let me turn this around and do it. Nope, can't do that. Do this. Let's make it easier on ourselves. Okay, there we go. Line this up. Where do I want it? So I'm going to have 4 here, 4 there, and I'll probably have to do 2 down the middle across the spine there. Let me move this in. Now, I'm loving the yellow, but I'm actually going to try the orange on this one. What is this one? Radical. Probably haven't used this one in a while. Don't worry, Carolyn, you're fashionably late. Not like me, I'm always 30 minutes early. Ooh, stencil came off there. Let's put that back on. Get this lined up again. Perfect, loving that. Okay, again, a little bit of paint on my blending foam. I'm going to tap it off. I think I might like this orange more than the yellow. Might have to go back on that other side and do the orange over there. We will see. There we go. Oh, yes. I like the orange better. Okay, cool. The yellow, I can still see the yellow. It's very subtle, but I'm actually going to come back and I'm going to do the orange on this side after I dry this. Now, I always tell people when you're in my art journal class, just these are layers we're doing, right? So you might get to a layer and go, oh my word, what a hot mess. Let me get this lined up. But I always tell people, trust the process. Trust the process. It's a journey. Okay, perfect. There we go. And I'm going to need more paint. Yes, the orange definitely showed up better. You know, I haven't used this paint in a while, and now let me just poke that. Ah, there we go. Try not to spray paint all over the place. Okay, tapping that off. Perfect. I am loving these neon paints. Taking me back to the 80s, definitely for sure. There we go. Oh, I'm loving that. I don't think I can fit any down the middle. I think they will overlap. But I am loving that. Okay. Give my stencil a quick wipe so I can get most of that paint off. I don't think I pointed this out. Let me pull this stencil back up so you can see it. don't think I pointed it out. It depends. You know, Chris, that really depends on the color. If I've got black paint or dark paint, now I'm going to put on like yellow or red or something. If it's different, if it's on the other side of the color wheel, I generally will clean. But if I know I'm not going to make mud, like this one was the yellow and the orange, and I know I'm not going to make mud, I'll generally just leave it. So on here, it actually has guidelines. I don't know, can I get that? It actually has guidelines here. So if you needed to line it up with like the edge of a art journal page or the edge of a card, it does have guides there too. All right, so that's going to be set aside so I can clean that later. And let me grab out I think I'm going to use this stencil down at the bottom. Okay, so I can move my art journal in place where I want it. I'm going to move it over here so I can get right to the edge. And I think I'm going to use the darker blue. I think I'm going to use cerulean. Going to use cerulean, and I need a little bit more on my palette. There we go. And let me grab a tool and a foam. There we go. Remember, when you add paint, a little bit of paint, and then you're going to tap, tap, tap. I like to tap and twist. That way it will spread it across my foam. Okay, and then we're going to come in and we are going to apply that paint. So this at the bottom, I am using one of the same colors. So in certain areas, these are probably going to disappear because they're going to be over cerulean again. But I've also got a lot of Bermuda on there, so then you'll see them. This one I didn't want like in your face showing up because I'm going to do some stamping and I want the stamp to really shine rather than the stenciling. The stenciling really is just a layer, just to add that layer to the bottom. Also, when applying paint through a stencil, you're not going to rub. Don't go in circles. I always tap. And like I said, a little bit of paint. You can always go over it again and add another layer, but you can't take it away if you're going to put too much on. Okay, so I've gotten to the end of the stencil, so I'm actually going to move this down. And oh, there we are. It's like I'm trying to line it up. So I kind of have, there we go. I need more cerulean. Didn't think I was going to use this much paint. I don't think it would use this much, but it does. Awesome. All right, let me take that stencil off of there. And then I'll hold this up. So you can see it's very subtle. It's definitely there. But look how gorgeous that is. Oh, this is... No, I did not gesso my page first. This is just regular media paper. I did not gesso first. I'll usually, well, not usually, but sometimes I'll gesso when I'm using sprays. But hey, Mari Clark's here. Hello, Mari Clark. I don't normally gesso unless I'm using like sprays, but this is just paint tonight, so it's not gonna seep through. Okay, let me give this a little bit of heat. There we go. And let's bring back our stamp set from this stamp, or sorry, from this set. Again, if you're wondering, this is the Sizzix Studio set called Create. And actually, you know what? They're $30 and you get 3 really good size stencils and a stamp set, which I think is really good. Okay, so here we go. Thinking the thoughts. What am I going to do? You know what? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stamp this first, this sentiment, because I do want it to have a nice place on my page. Oh, hi, Kim. To apply the paint through the stencil, I used a blending tool and foam. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so let me bring this in. This is my stamp and stencil tool. Let me put my journal in there. Let me place my stamp where I want it. Yeah, I think I want it over on this side, maybe down here, kind of over top of both colors. There we go. Now where's my stamp lid? Here we go. Stamp lid is here. Pick that stamp up. And now I'm going to apply my, thinking, what do I want to use? Okay, so I'm just going to put some black ink on that stamp set. I still have time to move my journal into place. You know what? I thought I saw it moved, and it did move. And now I'm mad. I am mad because it moved. You know what? I felt it move, and I was like, oh, I hope it didn't. But you know, when you feel something move, and you're like, oh, that's not good. That's not good. All right. So what I'm going to do, I've already got some paper ready here. I'm going to stamp it on a separate piece of paper. Hang on, people. Let's do this first, because that will show up really nice. So let me, what color do we want? I'm liking this bright orange. Let's do that one. Oops. Oh, this tool, this is the Sizzix Studio stamp and stencil tool. I should be using the, you know, that whole stamp mishap there has just totally thrown me for a loop. So I'm just gonna get my head back in the game here. I'll just get my head back in the game. All right, let me put that stencil on there, and then I'm gonna come in with paint. Now, I'm not worried about getting into this spot because I'm actually going to end up cutting this out anyways to put on my page. So I am just going to fill this in. I could have used ink, but I've already got this paint out. So I thought, let's just continue with the paint. Now, this is a nice wide open stencil. So you kind of do around the edges and then you just kind of fill it in. There we go. Once I cut it out, I'll probably ink the edge again to kind of give it a bit of shading. Probably shouldn't be drawing that on there. And it's dry. Okay, let me put this back on. And let's try our stamp again. I'm going to try another ink. I'm actually going to flip over to the VersaFine Clair. There we go. Monday Night Live, where you come watch me make mistakes. Probably shouldn't have inked this up, but that actually fits in there really nicely. Oh, it worked the first time. Okay, now I use the VersaFine Clair. So what I am going to do now I am going to set it with some clear gloss superfine. Let's just set that right now. Perfect. And let's see it. Perfect. Ooh. So that's going to actually look really great when I bring this back in. See, mistake, bad stamping, but that's going to go over top of it and it's going to look amazing. Oh, Kim, yes, I am known for making crafty mistakes, but I'm also known for being able, I take them as opportunities for, yeah, like what you said, creative options. Definitely. Okay. Just going to cut this out, probably ink the edge a little bit to give it a little bit of definition on the edge, but we'll see. Right? Happy accidents. The only time when happy accidents aren't really great is when you're like card making. Sometimes you're just like, that is a lost cause. That is going in the garbage. But in mixed media, I feel like you have the option of, you know, taking things in a new direction, or, you know, changing it up, or adding a focal point there, or let me cut this off. You know, options. There we go. Oh, look at that. That's going to cover that up beautifully. Look at that. I saved the day. Let's see. What do I have? I wasn't going to use ink, so I don't have inks out. Hang on. Let me find an ink here. What do I have? Dried marigold? Nope, not feeling the dried marigold today. Let's see, what else do we have? Wasn't expecting to do this. Let's try, no, not that one. Oh my goodness. Ripe persimmon? Let's try that. Just gonna move this off to the side while I do a little unplanned inking. Oh, that's nice. Just gives it just something on the edge. I used Radical Dina Wakley Media Paint. Radical. Yeah, that color there. Orange. There we go. Just add a little bit of ink to that edge just to give it a little bit more definition. And it's like it never happened. It's like it never happened. We can just go back to that point in the video and erase that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to my little splodge there. And there we go. Yay, fixed. Okay, perfect. Let's go back to that stamp set. And now I'm all like verklempt and I have no idea where I put that stamp set. There we go. What else do we have? Ooh, let's do, I like this little splodgy thing. Now, in the interest of time, because I'm not going to use, you know, for the big stamps, for the sentiments, yeah, I would use a tool, but when I'm using something like this, I find it easier to do a block. That way I can roll it and kind of control it a little bit better. And I need a little bit more glue. There we go. You know what? I was thinking the same thing, Wendy. I was thinking the same thing. It's like this actually looks better because it stands out more. I agree. Okay. Going to get a different ink pad. Excuse me. Just need to take a drink of water. There we go. Okay, so now I'm using a Distress Archival Black Soot because I want it to dry fast. I'm just going to add just some splotches just around my page. Do first generation, second generation. That's fun, liking that. See, Dana, this is where things kind of go off the rails for me. It's like I never know when to stop stamping. I just want to keep stamping. Okay, cool. Sorry if this is no stupid questions at all. I'm not familiar with this stuff at all. So how do you clean the stencil and the brush? Do you need a special cleaner? Separate brushes? Do you mean these? I wash these. I'll use these for inks and paints. So when I'm done, I actually have like a colander I got at the dollar store, and I'll throw all of these pads in with a little bit of dish soap and then rinse them until they go clear. And then I just let them dry on a paper towel. So these I will wash and I will use them for paints, inks, whatever. But after I wash them, they're fine. So I will wash those. And then with the stencils, so this stencil here, I just use this one. Now this paint is dry. What I'll probably do is I'll come in with a baby wipe off most of that. And then I've got a scrubby soap, which is a citrus soap that has a bit of like a, almost like a loofah in it. And then I will come in and clean up the rest of it. And then I just let them air dry. So just baby wipes and then just some, lukewarm water or some soap, and it just washes right away. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you're talking about Dina Wakely, we just had Dina at the store. She cleans nothing. She cleans absolutely nothing, which kind of freaks people out a little bit. Okay, what do I was like, where did that paint come from? My paint palette, which is where I threw this, which I shouldn't have done. Okay, now I love the faces in these stamp sets. This one doesn't have a face. So I'm actually going to go back into one of the other stamp sets. Which one do I want? Oh, do you know what? I forgot that I had stamped this one on the wet media Duralar. I forgot. I already have a face stamp. Look at how gorgeous that is. Okay, that really is amazing. Isn't that awesome? That's almost too perfect. Where do I put it? Down here? Down here, maybe? Oh, okay. I am going to just grab my scissors because I do need to trim this down because it's a little big. Just wait, where am I going to put this? See, again, happy accidents. I did this before I went live just to basically show people what it looks like. I am going to just trim off that side. Need to trim off a little bit more. Trim that. Let's trim that. That actually might be enough. Wonderful. Still didn't trim enough off. My goodness. Here I am thinking I'm going to be trimming too much, and I'm still not enough. A little bit more on each side. There we go. Yes, this wet media Duralar also trims really, really nicely. Okay. And because I'm a little bit weird, I'm going to round the edges of my acetate. Just got a corner rounder here, so I'm just going to go in and round those edges. There we go. What kind of ink did you use to? I actually didn't use ink. I used paint. Yes, this was Little Black Dress. This was Little Black Dress from Paper Artsy. And I brayered it on the stamp. Oh, white splatter. I was actually going to use gold, but white would be nice too. That's going to go on there. This face stamp came from this stamp set. This is Possibilitarian, and it's one of the Sizzix Studio, and this is one of the ones that's on sale. Yeah. And I have to say, this is probably my favorite stamp set. I love it so much. Okay, so this is going to go in here, but before I do that, did I want to add some more stamping? I think I might, because I think it needs a little something else. I think it needs a little something else. And I'm going to use a stamping block. I'm going to take the face off, so the stamping is going to be underneath. Yeah, Suzanne, I love this face too. I've actually stamped it so many times. I've colored it, I've doodled on it. It's really nice. So this stamp that I'm using now is from the Create stamp set, and it has all different kinds of art on it, all different kinds of art words on it, types of art. Oh, the struggle is real tonight. I can't even form thoughts right now. Just like adding just something, especially when it's on the edge, because it almost frames it, right? It gives it a nice frame. Okay, I'm loving that. Anything else, or does the face go on now? No, I need to use this circle. I'm just going to assume this is a color wheel. It looks like a color wheel, so let's just go with that. It's a color wheel of some kind. But it's a circle, and circles make me happy, so I have to use all the circles all the time. Oh my word. Okay, that's it. I love this. Yeah, this is fantastic. Shut the front door. Okay, perfect. Love it. Nope, I just need one more. Sorry, I'm getting very distracted. Oh, I will show you. So I actually stamped that face on wet media Duralar. And it looks like this. And here we are. Wet media Duralar. So it's used for water-based medium, so you can use it for markers, inks, paints. It got a two-sided coating, so it doesn't matter which side you use. It's also reusable. So if you wanted to use this as a temporary thing, like if you're going to stamp with like a dye ink on it, you could actually wipe it away if it's like a temporary use and use it over. And it also cuts really nice. We actually don't carry these journals. This is just one that I had because I was going to use one of my journals, but they're so big, they go off screen. So I'm like, I need to use a smaller journal. Okay, and I couldn't even tell you. I've had this one for so long, I don't even know what it is. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay, this, I gotta tell you, I am loving this. And let me bring my face back in. And then because it's on the Duralar, I can basically place it wherever I want. Now, how do I attach this? Well, I'm going to use double-sided tape because, see, and that's the other thing about stamping on the Duralar. This is the side where you can feel the paint on, but you can flip it over, right? So if you wanted the image the other way, I actually like it better this way. And then if you wanted, I could add color on this side. I could paint on this side and put it down, but I'm not going to do that. I don't want to take away from the face. What is the difference between Duralar and plain acetate? Duralar is heat safe. Regular acetate, unless it specifically says it's heat safe, generally isn't. So if I was to stamp on this and I wanted to heat set it with some, say I wanted to put like an embossing powder on it, as soon as I put the heat on it, this would just all crinkle up like shrink plastic. Which side do I want? I actually like this side better. I actually like that. Okay, I'm going to use double-sided tape, which is what I used on the front of my journal. And I want it to hold on sometimes, and I've used glue on acetate in my journal before. Like I've used matte medium and other things, and eventually over time I've found that it peels up. So I'm going to use thin double-sided tape. There we go. The reason why I didn't do here is because I didn't want the tape going over top of that, because I feel like you'd be able to really see it quite easily if it's behind that. I love how this has come along too. This is very exciting. The wet media Duralar is fairly new to us. Now, I have stamped on other Duralar with no issues, but I also, I've only ever used it with paint, not with inks. So I'm sure you could stamp on other Duralar too. Where do I want it? Closer, maybe up here. And then when you put it down, you want to press over top of your double-sided tape, and that helps it meld into your background so you don't see it. I mean, you're going to know it's there because you know you put it on. The Duralar's not part of the demo deal. No, I just wanted to use it just so you could see how you could stamp on it. So there's that Duralar there. That's really cool. I like that. That turned out really good. Yeah, love it. Yes, Duralar is good for alcohol inks, and Cassandra has used it in classes. She uses Duralar quite a bit, and she has a different kind of Duralar. Hers is a lot heavier for the alcohol inks, but yeah, we use Duralar a lot in the store. So there you go. That actually turned out really well. So I used all 4 stamp sets in this journal. Now this is kind of a mix, because I used a different stencil from another set. I used this stamp from another set. Most of it is from the Create set. But you can see here's the front of this journal. That's the exact same face. This is white paint. Might be a little bit harder to see on screen, but it looks really good. I like it. And then this is the one that is the Ikigai. And again, I apologize for anyone who knows to pronounce that. I don't, yeah. So there's that one. The background I did tonight was very similar to this background, how I created it. And also Crafty Opportunity down here at the bottom. I tried to stamp this along the bottom. It looked awful. So I ended up stamping this again and then cutting it into squares and kind of layering it over top. Much happier with that. And then that is another amazing face from the, so many stamp sets, I can't even remember them all. This one here called Ikigai. Yeah. And then this one was The Visitor. And I love this one. It has Free Bird is one of the stamps in it. And it's got this beautiful eye. Love it. I love all of the Sizzix Studio stamp and stencil sets. They're all amazing. So there you go. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Now, before you go, we are going to do our draw because somebody is going to win this. This is the Smooth All-Round paper from Art by Marlene, and it really is gorgeous. Smooth, absolutely gorgeous paper. And if you have one of the Art by Marlene journals, this one will fit into the perfect size journal. But for me, I would use this to stamp sentiments on, stamp focal points, cut them out, because it's a nice heavyweight paper, super smooth, great for stamping. So somebody's going to win this. So let me find my mouse in the craftermath that's happening right now. Let me just going to switch back to my front camera. Hello, everyone. I'm back. Okay, let's do our giveaway. Who is going to win? And I need to, hang on, share screen. Oh. Oh no, Brianna. It's not letting me do it. It's not letting me show the giveaway tool. Oh, shoot. Uh, you know, I had to go to a different browser and now it's not working. Okay, I am so sorry that I can't share the screen with you. Oh, no, it's not letting me share. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and I am sorry about this. I'm going to run the draw. Oh, okay. I'm going to need to get this figured out. I'm running the draw. It's on my screen. I'm sorry that you can't see it. Okay, and the winner is Crystal Refs. I'm going to take a screenshot of that and I'll post it in the comments, but it's definitely Crystal Refs. You have won the Art by Marlene Essential All Around Paper. This is yours. I'll take a screenshot. I'll share it in the comments so you know. Yeah, it's actually Crystal. So thank you everyone for joining me. It's been so much fun. And I hope you learned something. And don't forget about the demo deal happening the rest of today online and tomorrow online and in store. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.